All right, so in this lesson, we're going to be talking about certifications. We're still continuing. And this is my favorite part of the training. Drum roll, please. All right, so what is a certification? A certification is a professional qualification awarded to an individual after completing a specific or a specialized training that demonstrates the skill set or expertise acquired. Now, when it comes to a certification, the certification will usually zone into a specific technology or a specific area. So you find that you become an expert in that particular field. Now, because of that, usually certifications are done over very short periods. So it can range from days, weeks, or months. Now, we have two types of certifications. We have what we call vendor specific certifications. These are offered by manufacturers. Okay. So Cisco manufactures telecommunications products or networking products. They manufacture routers, switches, wireless equipment. And what they do is they then create courses that teaches an individual how to operate their equipment. So those are what we call vendor specific training. Then we have vendor neutral certifications. These they're still also industry widely recognized, same as vendor specific. They're also industry wide recognized as well, but they're not tied to a specific brand, which then make this certification more theoretical, and which is a problem. For me, the idea of a certification is that it needs to train you to start implementing something immediately after you finish training. So are always going to be leaning towards vendor specific certifications. And for entry level programs, I'll always say go for vendor specific programs because immediately I can start looking for a job as a Cisco engineer in companies that are working with Cisco devices. But if I do come to an M plus as a newbie in the industry, I actually don't know how to program any of the products that I've, because I wasn't really trying. My training was not really zoning into a specific product. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you do CCNA, it means you can't configure a Juniper router or a MikroTik router. It doesn't mean necessarily that, but I always think that specifically for entry level certifications, go for vendor specific certifications. Now, this is one of the most important things, guys. When you're doing a certification, you must understand the reason why you're doing it. You are doing a certification because you want to acquire a skill that you can start selling in the market. So if I learn, for example, if I do a course in cybersecurity, I must have the basics of protecting a network to work as a SOC engineer or anything like that. If I learn CCNA, I want to be able to maybe work as a field technician or as a support technician immediately after I've acquired the knowledge. So I don't want you to be tempted and learn this as if you are learning an academic professional. So if you go to a college or any training institution that is not really focusing on practical and hands-on, you're probably doing it the wrong way. Okay. So the learning style for certifications is often practical, hands-on experience or labs that are required. We build simulations and real-world projects. In our case, because we are a consulting firm, we take some of the projects that we do for our customers and we replicate them in our environment so that we can teach you based on what is happening. So you can learn by doing. Okay. Another thing with certification is that most of them you need to recertify after a certain time of period, after a certain period of time. And in most cases, usually these are 3 years certification. So every 3 years, you either have to do a higher certification or you have to redo the same certification so that it doesn't expire. This is very good because then any new technology is changing quickly. So any new technologies, you need to be able to know about these things. So I've been certifying since 2009. I have other certifications that have fallen away, that have expired. The ones that are relevant to my industry, I've made sure that I keep on recertifying every single year, or to every year, pretty much I'm recertifying something. So okay, so what are the advantages of a certification? Number one, job readiness. Um, job. This is one thing that you need to be aware of. The idea of getting a certification is to learn a practical skill. So these certifications have to be practical and hands-on training. 70% or more should be hands-on. Of course, you should cover the theory and all that, but there has to be project-based. There should be labs and simulations that you should be doing in order to prepare yourself for the real environment. Okay, many of these certifications require you to renew every number of years. Usually, this is around 3 years with most of these certifications. Some are 2 years, but most of them are 3 years. So you can renew those certifications by either going for a higher certification or simply doing the same certification that you have just completed. So it wouldn't really be fair if we don't talk about the disadvantages of doing certifications. Now we need to do justice. I don't want to lean. I don't want to be biased. I want to be a proper referee. Okay. So some of the disadvantages of certifications is that they are limited to specific skills. And if you're not clever, you can end up being in a situation whereby you become obsolete. So think of what happened to the fax people, the people that were doing these fax, the fax machines technicians. If they didn't really adapt, they probably are out of work and they're irrelevant in our societies in terms of they've what in terms of the knowledge that they've acquired. So because it's narrow focus, the problem might be the fact that you can become obsolete if you don't upskill yourself. Okay. Again, uh, it requires once you get into this industry, if you're not somebody that is passionate about technology, you're gonna get bored because you have to certify all the time. So some of us, I get really excited when new objectives are put into new exams. I want to see what are they doing? What are they talking about? What are the new things that are happening? I need to learn. See, so if you don't have that, you're gonna run into some problems. Then leadership. Um, you're not really going to get into leadership with certification alone. And it does make sense. Okay, let me tell you something that I know for a fact. I'm not gonna mention the companies, but they're top big companies. They have what they call uh, uh, IP specialists. So these IP specialists are the guys that have done the likes of the CCIEs and all that. They are very technical oriented. And they get paid a lot of money, but they are not in management. Okay, so these people are very good at what they do, but they don't they don't get involved in the management overall process. Okay, usually you see in these companies that you have people that have done like an electrical engineering degree or electronic degree. Those will be the people that are managing these people. So you find out that probably your manager is an IP specialist, does not know exactly what you're doing. He has an idea because obviously he's done a degree, but he's not as good as you are in designing and implementing these systems. So this is where now sometimes you find that you feel you might end up feeling overlooked because you feel like you're the person that is doing the job, but you are reporting to somebody that does not have the skills that you have. So most of the time, if you don't end up getting a degree, there's a certain level that you're going to reach and you're not going to pass. You're not going to be an executive without a degree, which makes sense, guys, because you don't have other skills that are required, like management skills or critical thinking and many other things. You just want to buy the most expensive equipment and implement it. You're not thinking about the budget or the costing that may the cost implications. Would like to use the latest software, the latest things, and things like that. Of course, experience will teach you to be better, but a person that has a degree has a better understanding of the overall picture. You are only zoning into just that particular thing that you know. So, though these are some of the disadvantages of certifications, especially when you grow up, when you get, go up the ladder, you are going to reach a place where you can't really go beyond that if you don't eventually get a degree.